You know what I think is one of the biggest scam in self-improvement? Motivation. Like not because motivation is bad, but because people treat it like it's like the solution. Think about it. How many motivational videos have you watched this year? How many quotes have you saved? How many times have you felt fired up after listening to some successful person tell you to just stay disciplined? And now here's the uncomfortable question. How much of that motivation actually lasted? For me, the answer used to be almost none. I'll watch a video, get excited, write down a bunch of goals, promise myself that everything was about to change, and then 3 days later, I'll be back in my old habits. Not because I was lazy, but because I lacked potential, but because I was trying to build a constant life using an inconsistent emotion. And that's what motivation is, an emotion. An emotion can come and go. Some mornings you wake up feeling unstoppable. Some mornings you don't even want to get out of bed. And if your entire progress depends on how you feel, you're basically putting your future in the hands of your mood. And that's a terrible strategy. The biggest shift in my productivity happened when I stopped asking, how do I stay motivated? And started asking, how do I make this inevitable? And that's where system come in. And today I want to show you why motivation is overrated, why system quietly run the lives of high performers, and how you can build system that keep working even when you don't feel like working. Let's get into it. I think motivation is a little bit like junk food. It feels amazing in the moment, but it doesn't keep you full for a very long time. You watch a motivational video and suddenly you feel like completely different person. You start imagining your future. You picture your life getting fit, making money, building a business, achieving your goals. Your brain loves this because it gets the emotional reward before you've done any of the actual work. And that's dangerous because sometimes consuming motivation becomes a substitute for taking action. You feel productive, but you haven't actually produced anything. And a lot of people get stuck in this for a long time. Watch, feel inspired, do nothing, repeat. Here's something I've noticed. Nobody waits for motivation to brush their teeth. Nobody waits for motivation to change their phone. Nobody waits for motivation to show up to an important exam. Why? Because those things are built into a system. But when it comes to our goals, suddenly we expect motivation to carry us. We say, I'll start when I feel ready. I'll start when I'm motivated. I'll start next Monday. The problem is that motivation is strongest before the work begins, not during it. Okay, the moment things gets hard, motivation starts disappearing. And that's exactly when you need something stronger, a system. And when people hear the word system, they imagine spreadsheets, calendars, and complicated productivity hacks. That's not what I'm talking about. A system is simply a process that reduces the need for willpower. That's all. For example, instead of saying, I'm going to work out for 2 hours every day, A system says, the moment I get home, I put on my workout clothes. Notice the difference. The goal focuses on the outcome, the system focuses on the action. Goals are about results, systems are about repetition, and repetition is what changes your life. I once heard an idea that completely changed how I looked at progress. Successful people don't win because they're always motivated. They win because they remove as many decisions as possible. Think about it. Okay? Every decision drains energy. Should I work out today? Should I study today? Should I post this video? Should I work on my business? The more often you ask those questions, the more opportunities you create to say no. System eliminates the debate. Okay, the decision has already been made, just execute it. So if you're watching this and thinking, okay, that sounds great, how do I actually do it? Here's my advice. First, make your system embarrassingly easy. Seriously, too many people start with a version of themselves that doesn't exist. They build routines for their homes, for their dream self, not their current self. Start small enough that failure feels ridiculous. One page, 5 push ups, 10 minutes. Build momentum first, scale later. Second, focus on showing up, not performing. Most people quit because they judge themselves based on result. System thinkers judge themselves based on consistency. Did I show up today? That's the question. Third, expect bad days. Bad days are not system failures, they are part of the system. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is returning quickly after you slip. So here's the main idea I want you to remember. Motivation is a visitor, system are residents. Okay, motivation shows up when it wants to, system stays. Motivation can start your journey, but it cannot carry it. The people who achieve incredible things are usually not the most motivated, they are the most consistent. And consistency isn't built on inspiration, it's built on systems. So stop collecting motivational videos, stop searching for the perfect quote, stop waiting to feel ready, build a system. That's the process. And let your actions do the talking. Because at the end of the day, your future is not determined by what excites you. It determined by what you repeat. Okay.